Hey guys, what's up? It's Jules. I hope that you had wonderful holidays, a wonderful end of year, and that you are as excited about 2024 as I am. I am excited. I think it's going to be a great year. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens this year. I have a lot of goals, especially when it comes to cross stitch. So, uh, part of that I know I talked about in the end of year review video. And if you haven't seen that, it's going to be up somewhere up here for you guys to check out. But I went through like all the projects that were finished. I totally forgot to show you guys the one that I actually was done, the bigger monochrome that I finished last year, which was the owl that I actually stitched myself. He's kind of tattered and whatnot because poor owl. The reason why he wasn't in the video was because I was actually soaking him in some hot water to remove the pre-grid lines from the Zweigart pre-gridded fabric. I don't think I'm really going to use pre-gridded fabric going forward. Some people love it, but I'll be honest with you, like it doesn't mark the fabric where I would mark the fabric in terms of like here's the beginning of a square, here's a square. It just doesn't do it the way that I would. So this is probably like the first and last project that I would do on it. But it's just personal preference. Some people are gonna love it. And I'm not saying I'm not going to use it, but I'm probably not going to like use it for its gridded. I mean, the fabric is beautiful, so but I'm not going to use it for its gridding potential. What's the word? Its gridding properties. Yeah. So anyway, so I totally neglected to put this one in at the end of the year. I'm sorry, Al, you didn't make the end of year review. You should have, but you didn't. So, but hopefully to be framed soon. Speaking of framing, I ordered two frames for Big Ben and Frankenstein. Was it Frankenstein? I can't remember. I ordered two frames. I use a place called Mapboard and More, and the reason why I like those guys is just there's so many different things that you can do with it. I probably need to make a video sometime and just show you guys what you can do with it, but I just like the fact that they'll cut everything for you. They'll cut the matting. You can get it double matted. And honestly, when you get it back, it's just not that big of a deal to actually put in, and get it matted. So, but there's that. Oh, and so one of you guys, and I got to get back to you, sent me an email and asked me about looking at the back of a monochrome project. And this is what the back of my monochrome project looks like. And I'm kind of proud to show the back of it. I think it looks pretty good, but it's very dense in stitching. And really, what she was asking about was the areas where you're having to extend the stitching a little bit more. And I have other projects that I have done that I have like longer areas where I've stretched the fabric, because the question is can you see it in the front? Right now you can't. And so I would say to me, so how do I explain this? Part of this is I need to actually do another one. I need to finish another one of my monochrome projects and show you how I deal with floss that is stretched a little bit. It's kind of silly the way that I deal with it. There's a couple different ways that you can do it. One is basically if you've got like a stitch in the middle of, nowhere, so to speak, you can just, if you're stitching full coverage, you can just basically stitch full coverage and then keep your ends trimmed short. And then when you come back through to finish, you kind of just tuck the needle back in and again, cut it short and you have your own little spot. I think that if you were to stitch my monochrome patterns and you had issues with seeing the DMC through the fabric, part of it would, to me, mean that your fabric is just thin. I'm not sure what to do about it when it's that thin, but it could be thin. Another thing that I've done, especially when I did this pattern right here, and you guys are gonna laugh at me for what I did for this one, I am not gonna take the backing off of this to show you guys what I did, because it was, you guys know how hard it is for me to like actually fulfill like things that I need to do, like get my to-do list done and everything. I'm not taking it back off to put it back on again, because it'll be 2026 before I put back on again. Um, I don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. What I do sometimes is I'll take a piece of paper, a piece of white paper, like the white part, not the part that has stuff written on it, but the white part. I'll cut a piece out and I'll stick it underneath the floss. It's our little secret. Don't tell anybody. So I actually did that with this one. I had a couple spots where I stretched the fabric, or maybe it was this one, where I stretched the floss long enough that you could see it behind the fabric. And so I was like, I just need to block that. What can I do? So I just cut a piece of white paper, put it behind it. It looks great, and you guys would never have known if I hadn't said anything. And maybe I shouldn't say anything, but I need to help you guys, so it's all good. So that's another thing, but that's one thing you can do. Speaking of which, let me show you guys my progress on my one monochrome I'm working on right now, which is the Grumpy Gnome. And said Grumpy Gnome is 10% done or so. Now, I'm not worried about this particular fabric showing the, because it's colored, I'm not really worried about this particular fabric showing the back, but I'll show you my back. I don't have any problems with showing you guys the back, but that's what it looks like right now. And I'm stitching this in 10 stitch or half stitch. So, and you can actually see where I had, I mean, I'm not the best stitcher in the world. I have this little thing there. I'm so not the best. I'm not even close. I'm not even like, I'm like 50%, maybe 60 of the best stitchers in the world. Not me. Daphne is like 100 up there. She's awesome. So there's my gnome. Now I don't know if I'm gonna have pictures up next. I don't think I'm gonna do that every video, but in the end of year review, I actually put pictures of the completed projects up when I showed like the WIP, the work in progress. And I don't know, I don't think I can do that every single time. I mean, right now it's like 6-7 o'clock at night, and I really don't know if I can actually get that added to the video and get it up in time. Probably not this time. And so, but you know, maybe every other week or so I can throw it up there so you guys can see. I hope you like the picture of Old World Map 2 on that end of year video. I have gotten some stitching done with, I don't know, you know, for the people who watch closely, actually what I got done was a lot of stuff in here. So this area saw a lot of stitching. 500 stitches or so this weekend. So I'm pretty happy about that. Again, if you watch the end of year video, you know that I actually threw out, one of my goals this year is to do like 20,000 stitches on Old World Map 2. 20,000 stitches. Now, if I do, so I had to break that down, right? You got to break it down into like weekly goals. And it comes out to, it's, if you do like 400 stitches a week, it comes out to over 20,000 by the end of the year. So I have to average. What is going on with my game? Oh, you know what? I should probably pause it. Oh, doo-doo-doo. That's Anno 1800. That's my, I shouldn't even be showing you guys that I'm playing that. So it's roughly like 400 stitches a week. So there's, I mean, I'm definitely capable of doing 500 or 600 a week if I really focus on it. So, and I did about 350 over the weekend, I think, or 300 over the weekend. So I just, you know, and the question is, do I count the week from the first? I almost think that I need to count the week from when I do the video. So like tonight after the video, like tomorrow is like day 1 of the next week. So I have to have 400 at least stitched, 400 stitches done by this time next week. To me, that like makes more sense, so that you guys can kind of keep track of what I'm doing. So, but I'm pretty happy with it. Now, one of the biggest things that I did this weekend to get myself in a position to get organized, especially with Old World Map 2, was I actually got in my Pip and Chip floss bobbin things. Let me grab this real quick. Oh, my back. Oh, my back. So, it's that's what these are. I wrote this on there, obviously. And so so yeah, Pip and Chip. They come from the UK, come from jolly old England. I'm not gonna even try the accent. And they look like, hold on, they look like this. Oops. So they look like that. And everybody has a different way of stitching. Everybody has a different way of storing their own floss. Some people will not wind them. They don't like the winding for various reasons. I don't even want to get into it because it's, everybody has their preference. I prefer bobbins. I've tried a few other things, but bobbins are the way to go for me. And I think I have 4 of the 6 sets now. So I just need to get a couple more, and I'll do that. I'm getting them a little bit at a time, just, not to overwhelm myself. And I still have, I think I have two that I have, of the 4 that I have, 2 of them have been completely, assembled, so to speak. And I brought back my old floss boxes that I used in the very beginning, which I'm so happy that I saved them. But so these are my, now, do not be sad. Do not criticize me for the fact that these are in completely random order, because they are. And the reason why they're in random order is because I haven't organized them yet. I basically just, what I do is I had my big old bag of floss and I pulled out various numbers and I went to see if I still needed to, if I still needed to wrap a bobbin of it. And if I didn't find the number in the Pip and Chip, I knew that I didn't need to wrap it, put it back someplace else. But the ones that had a Pip and Chip number to it, I went ahead and wrapped it and I put it in here. So I will get these organized. I will get them more, more organized. But the one thing that I've already noticed is when I went to, after I did this, which I did this on New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, something like that, I immediately found that it was a lot easier to find my floss. And that was the primary reason why I got it. Here's another box. Oh. And so, very kind of messy. But it was very easy to find the floss. And especially when you're talking about old World Map 2, where there's over 200 colors, you got to find your floss. So I was very happy to do that. And I think that's what really helped me get that 300 or so stitches done in just a couple of days. So I'm going to continue to kind of work with this. I have, like I said, I got to order the other 2 boxes, but they'll come at some point and I'll get organized. And then the last one, this one's the Colorado Mountains. And all I did was add this little bit of peachy. I think this is 712, so it's more of a tan. That's all I got. That's all I got. I had issues with, honestly, I just spent a lot of time doing the bobbins. I was bobbinating like all weekend, so, or all through the holidays. So that's why I didn't get further along with any of that. But, so I am, like, my goals this year are kind of centered around getting stitching done and not necessarily around like doing this or doing that with the stores. The stores are doing good. I'm very happy with the stores. The patterns are selling well. I've got some really great new stuff getting ready to come out. But I really want to focus on the actual process of stitching because I've gotten away from that as a stitcher. And I want to make sure that I still get stuff done. So I have goals. I'm not going to share those stitching goals with you guys because honestly, I wrote them down, but I don't want to share them. So, but it just has to do with like how many patterns I want to finish, how many stitches I want to get done, things like that. So, let's see what else we got going on. I talked about the frames. So yeah, so thankfully, I don't really have any new patterns to show you right now. I took a break from doing patterns this past week or 2, and but I have a bunch of them lined up because I have worked a little bit. I just got to actually publish them. So if you're a Patreon member, you've seen a few of them that I'm getting ready to come out. Patreon is a way that you can actually support me in a way that's just sort of like sustainable. Is it sustainable? If you have a lot of patterns that you like, that are mine. One of the ways that you can consistently get them at a discount is by joining the Patreon. Patreon.com, Stitching Jewels, and the links down below. I think the lowest level at which you get a free pattern is like $7, I think. But that's like $3, $4, $5, $6 off the normal price. You get one free pattern a month. There are higher levels that will cost more, but I don't talk about it very often. In the group of patrons that I've had for the last couple of years have been pretty awesome, and pretty I don't want to say stagnant, pretty consistent. That's the word. And they give me very needed feedback on various things that I've needed, especially when it comes to the business side of stuff. But anyway, so links down below. If you want to consider checking it out. There are other levels that you can choose that are just like, you just support me without, it's a very small thing, but any little bit helps. It's something that, I'm trying to get to a point where maybe I can go full time with just doing cross stitch stuff, but haven't gotten there yet. All right, I'm going to do the hair thing. I've wore a hat today. The hair got all messed up. I just got a haircut yesterday. And I gotta tell you, it's not supposed to part here. It's supposed to part like over here. But for whatever reason tonight, it was like, nah, we're parting over here. When I got home, and so I was like, yeah, whatever. And so anyway, so got that taken care of. Good to go. Yeah, outside of that, we're supposed to have like 3 snowstorms in the next like 3 or 4 days. Snowstorms. 1 inch, 2 inches, maybe like 3 times by the end of Monday. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if it actually happens. They can forecast all they want, but until it actually starts to snow, it just doesn't mean anything. So, my surgery for my back fusion surgery is coming up in mid-February. And I'm still like 5-6 weeks out from that, so I'm not too involved with that as of yet. But I do have three appointments coming up with various doctors to make sure, run some tests, make sure everything's okay. So that's coming up, but I finally got all that scheduled, got all that time off, and pretty good about that. Feel pretty good about that. Let's see. Other than that, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I can see that I need to tell you about. I don't think there is. I think that this is going to be the end of the video. And yeah, happy stitching. I hope you guys have a very healthy, happy, successful 2024. And we are going to do a stitch with me this weekend. It should come out on Sunday. And yeah, all right, guys, you take care, and I will talk to you soon.